They say social media can make you rich, but nobody warned you about what happens when a famous family mistakes your backyard for a film set. Yeah, I'm talking 5 gigantic luxury RVs rolling past my mailbox on a Sunday like an army of self-importance, each one wrapped in the grinning faces of the influencer couple and their perfectly matched blonde kids, all sipping smoothies under the slogan, "The Wild Winston's Life Without Limits." I was still in pajamas, clutching my "I like my peace and quiet" mug when they crunched right through my open gate, flattened my lavender patch, and parked themselves by the pond. The engines died, silence lingered. Then suddenly drones lifted into the sky like a swarm of metallic hornets. The dad, perfect hair teeth, too white for daylight, stepped out, holding a selfie stick like a royal scepter, shouting, "Welcome back, Wild Winston family, to our newest episode, Off-Grid Millionaire Camping." That was the second I realized they had absolutely no idea whose land they were on, and the exact moment I decided not to call the sheriff. No, I'd give them their off-grid experience, just not the way they pictured. Their laughter echoed around the valley as if they owned it. I stood there half hidden behind a tree watching the mom arrange her kids in front of my old barn. Rusty "no trespassing" sign and all. Their fans must have been watching live too, because every few seconds her phone pinged with donations and heart emojis. Nature is so giving, she beamed, waving at my pasture. Even the animals came to welcome us while my cows stared like "Lady, we live here." I nearly choked on my coffee, and then this drone hovered right in my face like it was checking if I'd paid admission. The dad yelled something about locals joining the stream, then spotted I wasn't smiling. "You're on private property," I said flatly. He grinned, thinking I was part of the act, and shouted, "We'll tag you, buddy. Free exposure." I just turned and walked to my porch, already scheming up something way better than an argument. By noon, they'd strung hammocks between my apple trees, laid yoga mats on the dock, and blasted music loud enough to send every fish fleeing for the next county. I thought about calling the police, but that would have ended things way too soon. Instead, I opened my laptop, pulled up the county GIS map, zoomed in, and confirmed, yep, those RVs were a good 60 feet over my property line. Took a picture for proof, then called my buddy Ray, who runs the print shop. "You still do custom metal signs?" "Of course," he said. "How fast?" "By sunrise," I replied. That evening, the influencer kids squealed as their parents set up a campfire Q&A, the field glowing with solar lanterns and ring lights. They had no idea that just beyond the firelight, I was hammering stakes into the ground, digging a trench for something I never thought I'd build: a fake luxury campground. I printed up reservation slips with QR codes leading to a blank website, slid them into plastic holders, and then added my masterpiece shiny gold-lettered signs reading, "Luxury Campground, $500 day. All bookings final." By morning, the signs gleamed along the dirt road. The influencer mom came out in her robe, saw them, and gasped, "Honey, did you do this? It looks so professional." Dad strutted out, rubbing his eyes, muttering, "Wow, marketing's working faster than I thought." He filmed the sign for his followers, bragging about their exclusive resort partnership. Meanwhile, my neighbor rolled by on his tractor, almost falling off, laughing. "You charging them rent?" he hollered. "More than rent," I grinned. Before lunch, a family from out of town stopped trailer in tow, asking if there were open spots for this luxury camping experience. I pointed to the RVs. "Looks like some folks already booked." They handed me $500 cash on the spot. I told them to set up near the barn and enjoy the show. When the influencer dad saw the newcomers parking, his smile cracked. "What's going on?" he stammered. I shrugged. "You're in my campground, sir. Guess we're partners now." He tried to protest, but every word became content. "We love spontaneous collabs," he shouted, waving to the new arrivals, panic peeking through his grin as more campers pulled in, thinking they'd found a new celebrity resort. By sundown, the influencer mom looked 10 years older. Her live viewers were confused. Her youngest had tripped over my sign, crying. He hated camping. The dad came over with a forced smile, whispering, "Hey, buddy, can we talk business?" I said. "Sure, $500 per day, per vehicle. Luxury experience. You know the rate." His jaw dropped. That's when I knew I'd got him. He tried to film a heartfelt vlog about respecting nature, but my new motion sensor sprinklers went off blasting their RVs and ring lights. They screamed, the cameras kept rolling, and I strolled back to my porch mug raised like a trophy. I didn't need to post a thing, the internet was doing it for me. Their downfall had just begun, and I had 10 acres of stage for the rest of the show. Next morning, I woke to engines sputtering and angry voices, dad pacing in slippers, waving his phone, shouting about sponsor confusion. Mom sat on a folding chair live streaming damage control while their kids fought over the drone controller. It looked like a reality show gone off script, and I couldn't have asked for better entertainment. When the dad spotted me, he turned on that fake TV smile phone aimed at my face. "Hey, neighbor," he started as if we were old friends. I just stood there, let the silence stretch. Then I said, "You're still on private property." He chuckled nervously. Right. We're filming a series about eco-living. You'll love the exposure." I sipped my coffee. "Exposure's good if you can afford it." He blinked confused, then finally noticed the signs weren't going anywhere. He called his assistant kid, looked like he'd rather be in Siberia, and told him to check the property lines. I overheard the verdict: all 5 RVs were way over my line. The influencer's grin faltered for the first time. He tried to play it cool, filming an apology video for his followers, blaming local regulation confusion, but frustration was building in his jaw. He was used to editing reality, not bending actual land. Meanwhile, I whipped up a fake luxury campground listing online perks included authentic influencer wildlife sightings, 24-hour drone swarms, and complimentary ego massages. Within minutes, locals were commenting that they'd heard about the place from a viral clip. The post spread faster than their own videos ever had. That afternoon, a couple from Denver showed up waving their phones. "Is this the famous influencer resort?" I told them. "Only if you don't mind filming fees." They laughed, handed me $500, and joined the chaos. By now, the influencer dad's jaw was so tight I could hear it from 10 feet. His wife whispered, "Don't make a scene, honey, we're still live." "We're not live, we're trapped," he muttered. Drones were catching every second of their unraveling. Ray dropped off more signs. One read, "Check in here," another, "Guest experience zone." Dad ran over. "You can't just put those here." I smiled. "Actually, I can. My land, my rules. You're my guest, remember?" His face flushed red. He realized every word was being recorded by his own fans. He threw on another grin for the camera. "It's all part of the community vibe." Mom clapped awkwardly. "We love our locals." That night, I set up a booth labeled "Reservations and Refunds" with a note inside: "No refunds. All stays final." Then I plugged in a speaker, blasting spa music across the field, turning their circus into a parody resort. Cars kept rolling up, tourists, locals, all laughing at the influencer family pretending to host an event they couldn't control. One guest shouted, "Can we take pictures with the Wild Winston's mom?" grinned through clenched teeth, posing for selfies beside their now muddy RVs. That night, Ray and Earl joined me on the porch, struggling not to laugh as the influencer dad kicked a folding chair into the pond off camera, caught perfectly by my motion sensor lights. Next morning, things got even wilder. Dad was in full panic, followers demanding clarity, sponsors emailing comments turning nasty. As I adjusted my signs for the highway traffic, fate sent the county sheriff rolling up. "Morning, Sam," I said. Dad rushed over. "Officer, this man is exploiting our brand." Sam just raised an eyebrow. "Brand?" I handed him the property map and guest receipts, every RV on my land now paying guests. Sam looked the influencer dead in the eye. "Looks like you owe the man rent or a quick exit." The influencer stammered, but with another shoot scheduled and his audience demanding more, they stayed. That's when I realized I didn't just have them on my property. I had them on a leash of their own making. By day 3, my place was a full-blown reality show. Cars lined the road, campers snapping selfies by the influencer RVs. The dad was on the verge of meltdown, muttering about contracts and calling his manager. His wife live-streamed damage control while the kids chased a drone that crashed into my pond. Every second was pure comedy gold. The moment the first official luxury campground guests arrived, cheerful couple in hiking gear holding booking confirmations from my fake website, "We're here for the $500 luxury stay." "Is that the host?" they asked, pointing at the influencer dad. I stepped in. "Welcome to your luxury experience. He's our on-site entertainment staff." The couple cracked up, filming and tagging the influencer family. Social media exploded. Viewers thought it was a premium campground where you could live like an influencer. More campers rolled in, phones out, wanting pictures. Dad tried to explain it was a misunderstanding, only made things worse. "So we're paying, but you don't run it?" a guest asked. He tried to play it off as a pop-up experience, but I chimed in. "You're welcome to film anywhere, but remember, no refunds." The crowd cheered. The sheriff dropped by again, this time whistling at my new campground rules brochure. "Looks professional." He laughed. Dad lunged forward, desperate. "He's lying. This is my creative space." The sheriff just grinned. On his land. The dad froze. By evening, guests were demanding guided tours. I led them around, pointing out the influencer migration zone by the pond and the rare selfie nesting area by the barn. Every sarcastic line made the guests laugh harder and the dad angrier. When college students showed up, cameras and tripods in hand, announcing a short documentary called "When Influencers Go Wild," the dad looked ready to collapse. "You can't film us," he shouted. "Public campground, right?" They shrugged. That night, their luxury experience devolved into a madhouse. Tourists grilling hot dogs, laughing, uploading videos titled "I paid $500 to watch an influencer lose his mind." The influencer family's follower count started dropping in real time. I sat on my porch sipping lemonade while Ray texted, "You're trending, buddy. You're the new reality show." I laughed so hard I nearly choked. Around midnight, the influencer dad stormed up to my porch with his camera crew. "You think this is funny? You've humiliated my family." I leaned back. "You parked here for free, filmed on my land, made a show out of it. I just joined your show, that's all." He looked like he wanted to explode, but his cameraman whispered, "We're still live." The dad forced out a shaky laugh. "See, guys, all fun and games," and stumbled back to his RVs. As he left, I heard his wife whisper, "We're viral again, but not the way you wanted." The next morning, the influencer's world reached full-blown panic, disguised as forced smiles and shaky camera angles. Dad was pacing like a man holding a collapsing empire, muttering brand integrity and crisis management. Mom reapplied makeup between fake laughs, but the comments were all jokes about them being stuck in a luxury nightmare. The sheriff rolled back onto the property. "You have to make him stop," the dad pleaded. "He's running an illegal campground, charging people to harass us." The sheriff chewed his gum, grinned, and said, "Looks pretty well organized to me. Signs, guests, check in." "You sure you're not just jealous? He's making more than your channel." The influencer stammered. "I'm a professional content creator. I'm not jealous." The sheriff just nodded at me. $500 a day is not bad, huh?" The crowd laughed. The influencer's wife's hand shook as she ended her stream. "Son, you're still over the line," the sheriff told the dad. "You can leave or play along, but you can't complain about someone using his own land." The sheriff tipped his hat and drove off, leaving the influencer in a cloud of dust and defeat. He tried to quit, but a swarm of fans with merch and autograph requests blocked their exit. The local news showed up covering the new luxury glamping trend. "Is it true you host influencers as part of the attraction?" they asked. I grinned. "They're our featured guests. We're testing immersive influencer habitats in their natural environment." The news crew laughed. The influencer dad muttered, "No comment," but his wife tried to spin it. "We believe in supporting local businesses." That evening, their Wi-Fi failed, batteries died. Half their drones wouldn't lift off. Without cameras, they looked lost, like actors who'd forgotten their lines. Late at night, 3 paparazzi vans arrived, headlights flashing, photographers yelling. "We didn't invite you," the dad screamed, shielding his face. I watched it all from my porch, sipping coffee, and when one photographer handed me a card for a follow-up, I nearly lost it. The field looked like a battlefield of camera tripods and barbecue leftovers. The influencer family retreated inside, whispering furiously, while fans camped outside, waiting for the next day's drama. By now, my prank had become a movement. Luxury campground scam and influencer eviction were trending hashtags. Memes of the dad yelling at me, their kids crying by the RV, the sheriff smirking viral gold. Tourists kept arriving, wanting to see the place where that influencer lost his mind. The dad tried one last time. "What if we make this official? You get exposure. We call it a collab. Everyone wins." I sipped lemonade. "You already have exposure, friend. What else do you need?" He clenched his jaw. His wife tried to smile for the camera, but the cracks were showing. The sheriff rolled by, shouted, "Still camping!" I raised my mug. "Stilling." The crowd cheered. Dad muttered about calling his lawyer, but by now the law wasn't on his side. The public had turned, and every drone in the sky belonged to someone else. That night, his wife finally broke down live on stream, tears, a shaky apology, and for a moment the comments turned sympathetic. But even that couldn't be rehearsed, not when authenticity's been missing for years. The next day, a black SUV rolled up a lawyer, or at least someone trying to look like one. The influencer dad lit up. "My legal counsel will handle this." The lawyer asked for proof of ownership. I handed over county maps, signed receipts, my fake luxury campground brochure. The lawyer flipped through, then whispered, "Technically, he's within his rights." The influencer stared in disbelief. The lawyer shrugged. "He can charge rent or fees as long as it's disclosed." The meltdown that followed went instantly viral. By sunset, I'd become a folk hero, and he was a meme, his final gambit. "A private plea, no cameras, no crew. You win. Let us leave quietly." I told him, "You could have left any day. Nobody stopped you. We can't. Not yet. The sponsors want a final video. Even his escape depended on one more show." "Then perform," I said. "But pay for your stay." He sighed, handed me cash, and said, "That's for 5 nights. You happy?" Ecstatic. They filmed one last shoot by the pond, dad in a clean shirt, mom brushing her hair, kid sitting quietly, the speech all about growth and respecting boundaries. For once, it almost sounded sincere. When the camera turned off, the mask slipped. "That should fix it," he muttered. By noon, the engines fired up, and one by one the RVs rolled out, leaving tire marks where they'd flattened my grass. The crowd cheered their departure like it was the end of a movie. The next day, my phone buzzed, reporters, vloggers, curious tourists all asking if the luxury campground was still open. The influencer dad's lesson, learned video, went viral in a way he never wanted. Memes exploded. Instead of ignoring it, I leaned into the chaos, strung up lights, rented toilets, ordered real signs, and opened the place for real. By sunrise, the gate was lined with paying guests, families, backpackers, journalists, everyone eager to camp on the land that broke an influencer's ego. Ray and Earl helped me set up a check-in booth and waiver. The field buzzed with laughter. No entitlement, just people sharing the story. And then weeks later, the influencer family returned, quiet, no entourage, no makeup, just a family wanting one peaceful night by the pond. The dad handed me cash fares fair, he said. They stayed, no cameras, just marshmallows and tired smiles. The next morning he brought me coffee. I owe you an apology. Turns out all it takes is a few signs to remind a man who owns the ground. I nodded. You learned the expensive way. He grinned, worth every dollar. They left a thank you note. I pinned it on my fridge as a reminder that sometimes the best revenge is change. The campground thrived, local businesses flourished, and even the sheriff joked about installing his own photo booth. News outlets called it poetic justice. Yet after the buzz, I realized the spotlight was turning on me, strangers showing up unannounced, YouTubers filming without asking. I filed for permits, made it official, put up new signs.